Prison tattoos. Just because somebody tells you that they could tattoo in prison doesn't mean you should let them tattoo you in prison. I've seen enough prison tattoos go horribly wrong to make me very cautious on who I allow to tattoo me. There are a lot of people who are tattooing in prison who don't need to be putting no kind of artwork on nobody. Not just for the simple fact that they are not artists and they can't draw and they don't understand shading and lighting, but that they're also foul and wild and nasty. They don't know how to sterilize tattoo needles, and they might not sterilize tattoo needles. One dude using one tattoo needle and straight on you without even burning it. You got to burn that stuff and put it in alcohol or some kind of, liquid that's going to get rid of the germs. And then you got to sterilize it and burn it and sterilize it and burn it some more. You get your own needle. Man, tattoos can mess your life up. And I'm going to tell you a few stories in this video on some crazy tattoo stories that I seen. And we're going to start with this first one. That's right. Dude wanted to get a back piece. He wanted a full back piece. He had dude draw it out, gun towel. Now, I've seen some great tattoos in prison. And a lot of dudes like to get the gun tower tattooed on them. And this dude had this huge gun tower. And he had the prison yard. And he had it was a pretty nice tattoo. Big skulls everywhere around it. All kind of like monsters coming out the ground. It was a tight piece. And he had a clear back. He didn't have no tattoos on his back. It would be a full back piece he was getting inside prison called a timepiece. They call that timepiece. And so he was going to get his timepiece on his back. And when he was getting the tattoo, the dude who was tattooing him was heavy-handed. And if you got a heavy-handed tattoo artist, that means they're going to dig into your skin. And if they dig into your skin, well, the tattoo is going to become a scar. And you don't want your tattoo looking like a scar because you ain't going to be able to see the art. He might be light-handed in some areas, but he was heavy-handed in some areas. And so while he was doing this dude's tattoo, he didn't realize that this dude had a boil on his back. And he was tattooing the dude, heavy-handed, just digging into the skin. Dude, man, hold up, man, you digging in there, and he's asking the other dude, say, bro, it looks good. And the dudes are like, it's all right, bro, it's cool. They don't want to tell him the truth. Dude, tearing your skin up, man. You're going to have scars forever. And dude's like, and dude's like, I got it, it's good. Just be still. And the man. Somebody yell, man, they stop, they get up. He's like, all right, man, I'm hurt. He's going to look in the mirror. And blurry prison mirror. You ever seen the prison mirrors above the toilets? It ain't real glass. It's kind of blurry. You got to use that toothpaste. And dudes use that toothpaste. They put the toothpaste on it to shine it. Then you can see a little bit. He looking in there like this. He trying to look in the mirror. He like, yeah, bro, that's pretty tight, bro. Say, you going to make the bricks straight, though? Man, the bricks look like they're going like that. They ain't the bricks. That's that scar that dude's putting across your back, fool. Anyway, free man goes walking by. They get back to it. Dude drink their coffee. And all of a sudden, he tattooing. And all of a sudden, whoa, man, what happened? He's, dude screaming. Everybody's running. What happened? He's like, man, he shake me. Dude, like, I ain't shake you, bro. I ain't shake you. Dude got pus and the B word pouring down his face. Liquid all over his face. And they like, what happened? He's like, oh, man, his back busted. And one of them dudes from New Orleans came looking dude back. Oh, say, bro. Oh, you must have busted that dude burl. He had a burl on his back, man. When you busted that burl hit you in your face, bro. Oh, that's foul, dog. That's nasty. And everybody's like, what happened? Because the dude think the other dude shanked him. And that's another thing. You don't know the tattoo artist cool enough to know that you could trust him. And you think he might be the one to shank you. Man, you don't want that dude tattooing you, man. But this dude got a tattoo on his back and he had a boil. So his boil busted. And so he's leaking out. He got pus pouring all down his back mixed with the red stuff. Just leaking down his back all the way over. You know what I mean? Tattoos obviously shut down. Shop is shut down. And this dude, this dude's liquid in his face. The dude's pouring in his face. So he's wiping his face off. He's like, oh, man, that's disgusting, man. That's disgusting. The tattoo artist. Because he busted the dude's ball because he was digging into his skin. And nobody knew that dude there was a boil right there. It was a big old bump, man. And he didn't want telling people it was a boil. Instead, he's like, oh, man, that's whatever he said it was, man. It might have been a skin abrasion or something. I don't know what it was, man. But the dude busted a boil on another dude, and the boil busted, man. So when you getting a tattoo in prison, you got to let the other dudes know that you got a boil. I had to get surgery on my arm because in prison I had a cyst on my arm, and I had to remove most of it myself. That's a story for another day. But this dudes get boils in prison. Prison, when it's unsanitary and you get in them showers, and you better not make a mistake and come out them shower slides. You're going to suffer with athlete's foot for the rest of your life. This the type of athlete's foot that the doctors can't rid of. You know what I mean? They can't get rid of. You know, political, prison, athlete's foot, right? They running on a structured car on your feet. And you don't need that in your life. So you got to keep the shower slides straight. Every couple months, you should buy you a new pair of shower slides. You know what I mean? Dudes be sharing dudes' shower slides. And then you want to use somebody else's shower slides to sit on the toilet because you want to sit on top of the shower slides on the toilet and you got a boil on your butt and then the boil busts. And then you got a hole in your leg or your booty. You don't need that. Now, this dude got a hole in his back and a 3/4 of a weight gun tower that looks like rubble from the Roman Empire. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like. Dude looked like Pompeii. Fell apart on his back. Instead of the prison gun tower, it looked terrible with all kind of tears in it. Now the boil was busted. Then they had to call a free man to come in there. And they're like, what happened? He couldn't tell me he was getting fresh tattooed. Them people ain't stupid. They know what a fresh tattoo looks like. Dude got a boil pouring down his back. Pus. You know, so they had to bring him, stitch him up. He comes back in there looking stupid. He ain't never got the timepiece finished. Like I said, man, he had rubble Pompeii on his back instead of the prison yard like he wanted. You got to be careful on who you letting put tattoos on you, man, because you're going to wind up with something that's crazy. Let me tell you another story. A name. How simple can it get to tattoo a name on somebody in cursive letters? Dude gave the other dude a tattoo. He's like, let me say, bro, I want to get my old lady name tattooed on me. He's like, yeah, I got you, bro. I could put that tattoo on you. Dude wrote it down, spelled it out. They sat there talking about it for weeks because you plan it out. You know what I mean? It takes time to plan it out. You got to wait till the right day. You usually wait till the right officers on shift because he's more of a... Some officers will let you tattoo. Man, they got correctional officers getting tattooed by convicts in prison because the free world tattoos cost too much money. So they get them dudes to tattoo them and they just hook them up with some soups or something. That's right. Them correctional officers, they'll bring some soups into prison. They'll trade soups too for a tattoo, or they trade cigarettes for a tattoo. You know, it's cheaper to get a tattoo. And some of the artists in prison are phenomenal tattoo artists. I remember talking to my tattoo artist who did a lot of my tattoos on the street after I got out of prison. He was like, man, he said he's surprised that he would expect a lot of the tattoo artists who were in prison to get out and start tattooing on the streets. Because once they got their hand on professional equipment and, you know, a professional way to tattoo, that they probably would be phenomenal tattoo artists. Because he said they're working with, you know, little motors from a cassette player and guitar string. You can get guitar string inside prisons because prisons have guitars. The chapel has a guitar. You could even have a guitar in your hobby craft box inside the hobby shop, and you could play your guitar. Sometimes dudes play guitars on the big yard, you know, and so you can go to a worship service and they got to have the prisoners are allowed to lead the worship team and they play the guitar. So there's ways to get, you know, tattoo needles, such as, you know what I mean, the guitar string. Anyway, so this dude has his old lady's name tattooed, Cheryl. He's like, man, you can put Cheryl. Her name's Cheryl. He got it all spelled out. Cheryyle, Cheryl. Something like that, you know. And he stencils this on the dude, right? Dude looks in the mirror. He's like, all right, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Cheryl, you know what I mean? Right here on my chest, you know. He's like, all right, cool, bet, let's do this. You know what I mean? A little hard on or something, you know, a little something. It was just a normal tattoo, cursive name, Cheryl. You know, and so he gets the tattoo. Dude tattoos him up, and when it's all said and done, you know, he's wiping, man. Dude, steady wiping. You know what I mean? 'Cause that tattoo is mixed with your liquids, your blood, and he's wiping it. You know what I mean? And he must have wiped the stencil off, and dude just tried to go with it. When it was all said and dude looked in the mirror. He's like, "Say, man, what that say?" He said, "Say Cheryl." He's like, "Don't say Cheryl, I say Cherry." And the other dudes came, looked. They said, "Let me see that, bro." And he turned. The dude looking like, no, bro, maybe they're like an L. Nice 2 R's. He like, man, how you put cherry on me, man? When my old lady see cherry, man, she gonna trip. You know, I gotta show this to her in the visitation shed, man. You gotta fix this. And he's like, yeah, I can fix it. And he tried to put an L in there, and it said Cherry L. I said, Cherry L. Oh man, this dude. And so this dude was so mad that him and the tattoo artist squared up and got in a fight. Boom, neither one of them were cowards. Boom, 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 boom. They fight, they knocked each other, man. Boom, boom, beating each other up. You know what I mean? Bam, bam, one for one. These dudes took turns fighting back and forth all the way till Saturday on visitation shit. When dude just tried, he didn't show his old lady. You know what I mean? He said, I ain't gonna show that to her till I get out. I'm gonna have to get that covered up. So he had another dude do a cover up, you know, put another piece, and then he put Cheryl underneath it, you know? But he was stuck because the dude put Cherry L on it. And he's like, man, my old lady name ain't Cherry L. Her name Cheryl. So you got to be careful, man. Because you got a derelict tattooing you who can't read, who got a second grade education at best. And you want him to put a name on you. And he don't understand the placement of letters and vowels. You know, you asking for an English name and he put a Hebrew name in you with no vowels. You got to know what you're doing, man. When you're a tattoo artist and in prison making mistakes can line. These two dudes happen to fight. I seen another dude, he got whooped by messing a dude's tattoo. He wasn't this tattoo artist I was telling you about who spelled the name wrong. He fought back. But I seen another little dude, little Spanish dude. He did tattoos in the same camp I was talking about in another video. And he messed the dude's tattoo up, man. Dude beat that dude so bad, man. I felt bad for that little tattoo artist. He was a good artist too. The dude, and the tattoo wasn't that bad. The dude just had bigger expectations on what he wanted, you know, and he felt like he didn't get what he wanted. But it looked good. Considered some of the tattoos were bad. So you can get in fights behind tattoos. Tattoos will get you in trouble in prison. Not as much as punks, gambling, or narcotics, but tattoos can get you in trouble. But it's best to have somebody tattoo you who you trust. That's the best way. I did tattoos when I did a little bit of juvenile time, but as an adult, I didn't get involved in it. I did my art, but I didn't do no tattoos. You know, I can draw. I'll draw you a card. I'll draw on a jewelry box. You know, I'll draw on the back of your shirt. But I'm not putting nothing that's permanent on nobody's skin that we can wind up getting a fight and a disagreement on. Just wasn't worth it, so no tattoos for me. But some people, you know, that's what they want to do. They practice and what they're going to do for a living. And that's their hustle, too, doing tattoos, you know. So you got to be careful, man. You don't want to be in prison and get your tattoo boil busted, you know, or get your mama's name spelled wrong. And instead of getting your mama's name, you got the lady down the street who feeds the cat's name. You got to pick the right person to tattoo you who at least knows how to spell. Man, welcome to the Pen and the Shank, the most unusual and unique crime and prison channel experience on YouTube. Give me a like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Share this video. Go back and watch all the other videos in my library of crazy and unusual and unique videos. Man, let's get it. That ball.